begin here in Nigeria, where within the week, President Muhammadu Buhari was re-elected for a second term. The 76-year-old defeated his main rival, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, with a margin of just under 4 million votes. In the meantime, President Buhari has declared that the next 4 years will be very tough for his government. The president spoke while hosting members of his cabinet and the leadership of Nigeria's public service. He added that his campaign visits across the 36 states of the Federation was further proof that he could lead the country for another 4 years amidst concerns over the state of his health. However, the president hopes to consolidate on what he called the success of the last 4 years. Let's take a look.
Firstly, I'm pleased that the members of the Executive Council decided to collectively meet here, the normal venue of our weekly constitutional role, to congratulate me, and I think themselves, because if I had been removed, I don't know how many of them. Our last lap, or my last lap of 4 years, I think is going to be tough because people are very forgetful. That was why, wherever I went, I reminded them of the campaign by my party, or by our party, of the 3 fundamental issues. Security, because I kept on saying, and I didn't mind even sounding like a broken gramophone record, that you have to secure a country or an institution to manage it properly. If you don't secure it, you can't manage it, no matter how much propaganda you put in place. Secondly, the economy, the unemployed able bodies, is the problem of this country as a whole. More than 60% are youth, that means 35 years and below. They need to be kept busy. I realize that, and I thank God. God had our prayers. At least the 2 previous rainy seasons were good, and we had the foresight to get the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and Central Bank to try and give soft loans to farmers.
President Muhammadu Buhari there, back for another term of 4 years. Chike, I know you're raring to go.
No, why at all? I'm even exhausted, both mentally and physically, with the whole strain of the past 2 weeks, you know. But we thank God for where we are. That statement he made was a little bit ambiguous, though. He said it would be tough. Yeah, I don't know whether he meant for him and his team, or whether he meant for Nigerians, as it were. But whichever it is, I think the worst has happened, really, in terms of the recession and all the hardships we've gone through. And I can only see us coming out of it, you know. Yes, putting building blocks in place has never been easy. We all know destroying is the easiest thing to do, but building, you know. So, you know, I wish them well. The elections themselves, maybe when we look at that is another matter, and of course, all that comes with it. But the truth is that we are where we are. We thank God the country is still safe, the country is still one, and we're looking forward to going forward.
Oh, we're definitely coming to the elections, and Yemi was an observer. But for now, let's just concentrate on President Buhari's emergence as he's now president-elect. What are your thoughts, Yemi?
I mean, I just hope, and I think it was on the morning show, one of the days during the week, that you were talking to Femi Adesina. I think for me, one of the main things is seeing if they learned from the last 4 years. So if he dissolves his cabinet on May 29, it doesn't take him another 6 months, not even 6 weeks, really. I mean, you've seen how they've performed, because despite many promises that he will reshuffle, he never did. So you've kept these people in office for 4 years. Haven't done that, you should have a pretty good idea of who works well where. And I'm hoping really that he gets started on on getting people in who can actually do work, and that they're a bit more clear about understanding what they're trying to do, what works, what doesn't work, in terms of his own, if he cares really about his own legacy, so it's not just an election. And I think second bit of that is also how much he decides to pay attention to Nigeria's electoral laws and our processes. That, for me, can be another legacy that he leaves behind, cleaning up, because he has 4 years to do it. He can start by immediately signing. I mean, his excuse for not signing the last bill was time. Now you can literally get to work on Monday and sign it. And then we can then take it from there and say, okay, is this enough, given the experience of last weekend's election?
Which we're definitely coming to. Prof, what are your thoughts?
Well, the word tough can be explained from different perspectives. The first perspective is to look at it from the attitudinal disposition of the president. In other words, in terms of processes, in terms of how he wants to govern, he's giving the impression that he's going to be very strict, he's going to be tough, but the toughness at the end of the day doesn't talk about the scope, the areas that will be affected. It's not that I didn't hear him say that security, the economy, and corruption. We are aware of that one. Now, in the past 4 years, what was the situational reality? Because when you are talking about tough, there must be a borderline between the past and the future. In which way are we going to see the toughness quite different from what it used to be? This is one way of looking at it. Another way is to consider toughness from, challenges that will be prompted by environmental conditionings. In other words, if he's coming up with some policies that will make life more difficult for the people, he's now telling them in advance, prepare for this. Now, like Chike rightly pointed out, the word is at best very, very ambiguous. It doesn't say much. But you see, the fundamental problem there is that because already there are many complaints. There are many complaints already. And nobody can predict the outcome of Atiku Abubakar, who has opted to go to court. So, meanwhile, all right, we'll see what will happen in between now and May 29. You see, the problem in Nigeria are, most unfortunately, those who should show concern, they are not showing concern. The truth about elections in Nigeria is that political parties decide, especially the incumbent, any government in power, whichever party is ruling, they encourage, rigging, fraudulent practices. Why? They know quite well that the Constitution preaches, the electoral law preaches, that, look, if you have any grievance,
go to court.
Go to court. Now, they encourage rigging, fraud, violence, in the expectation that, yes. You see, when you now go to court, there will be wastage of time that will allow whoever is in government to stay there for at least 2-3 years. So by the time the court will be settling the matter, either for or against, there's no way on the basis of this principle of, returning, getting back what had been lost. So you rig and you are still in power.
True, because
let's move to the next story on the presidential poll.
Just to correct that, we have 7 governorship elections off cycle for exactly that same reason. They went to court, maybe it took that long, and then at that point they found that they hadn't won and they kicked them out, so the person started their 4 years.
Yes,
and then secondly, sorry, if I'm not mistaken, and we can correct this, I think that the tribunal process has also been corrected. There's now a time limit. Yes. Where post-election cases have to be done. I think it's either 90 days or 100.
It is 90 days.